Kazakhstan's foreign trade turnover in 2019 grew 1.5%, which amounts to $87 billion according to the data provided in the statement of the Kazakh Ministry of Trade and Integration. The data also shows the Kazakh companies traded with the Russian and Chinese enterprises most of all. The amount of trade turnover with the countries exceeded $17 billion and $13 billion respectively. Business ties with Italy have strengthened, resulting in a trade turnover worth $10 billion. Among the trade partners, Japan was the country Kazakhstan traded the least in 2019. The trade turnover was a little over $1.3 billion. Total exports of commodities from Kazakhstan amounted to about $52.2 billion. There was an increase in the supply of goods such as iron ore and precious metal concentrates. The coal exports grew by almost a quarter. The exports of the processed goods have also increased. People from more than 70 countries will have a chance to try Kazakh agricultural products. Next year, Kazakhstan will open its own pavilion at the International Green Week in Berlin, the world's largest agricultural exhibition. The Kazakh delegation has recently secured this opportunity during a visit to Germany. The delegation also met with the Estonian Minister of Rural Affairs, German Federal Minister of Food and Agriculture, and Mongolian Minister of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry to discuss opportunities to increase food exports. Next year, we will open our pavilion. This has already been agreed with our minister. The farmers and agricultural producers will definitely take part in the exhibition. I think that our meetings were very productive. The first Deputy Minister of Agriculture and I discussed the ways of cooperation between Estonia and Kazakhstan. We've agreed on sectors where we can cooperate. In addition, we're willing to share our own experience in the digital transformation in agriculture, both in the cultivation of crops and animal husbandry.
Сельское хозяйство на полях и на животноводстве.
2019 жылдың қорытындысы бойынша елімізде ет және ет өнімдерінің экспорты 63 мың тоннаға жетті. Ет одағының басқарма төрағасы Асылжан Мамытбеков осылай дейді. Оның айтуынша, сыбаға бағдарламасы аясында елімізде 20 мыңға жуық отбасылық сипатқа ие ферма, 50 бордақылау алаңы және 15 заманауи ет өңдеу зауыты ашылған. Ет одағының мәліметтеріне сәйкес, отандық шаруалар ішкі нарықты 100% өз өнімімен қамтамасыз етіп отыр. Ал экспорт көлемін алдағы уақытта 10 есеге арттыруға әлеует бар дейді сала мамандары.
Майда фермерларды ынталандыру үшін субсидияны енгізу үшін заңға өзгерістер жасауымыз керек. Біз 2011 жылы бастаған сол заң жобалары тек 2013 жыл ғана қабылданды.
The results of the 27 years of strategic partnership between Kazakhstan and Tajikistan were discussed in Nur-Sultan. Diplomats, members of the Kazakh parliament, as well as the representatives of the Tajik diaspora and politicians took part in the round table. According to the discussion participants, the two countries managed not only to preserve but also to strengthen the centuries-old traditions of friendship. In the recent years, there has been a steady growth of the bilateral trade turnover. The economic ties between the two Central Asian states have also been strengthened. Last year alone, the trade between the countries amounted to $957 million, marking a 14.5% growth. The share of the Tajik imports reached $200 million, and the Kazakh exports amounted to $750 million.
Это усердная работа и наша правительство, министерство.
This success is the mutual result of a hard work of our governments, cabinet of ministers and departments, as well as the commission that has been established and holds annual meetings, makes analysis of all of our agreements and the business forums in both Nur-Sultan and Dushanbe. The joint projects, which have been implemented since 2007 to the present day, have resulted in $520 million worth investments into the Tajik economy. 84 joint ventures have been launched, 15 of which belong to the Kazakh entrepreneurs. In addition, 4 Tajik businessmen have also large companies in Kazakhstan.
Бизнесмены и кроме того 4 бизнесменов Таджикистана тоже имеют большие компании в Казахстане.
The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development has set a new investment record in Uzbekistan. In 2019, the financial institution allocated funds for 13 key infrastructure projects in private and public sectors. The EBRD invested $576 million in Uzbekistan in 2019. The organization has also helped to establish the Foreign Investors Council and opened its regional office in Andijan in Fergana Valley, the most densely populated region in Central Asia. The bank's management intends to continue cooperation with the government authorities of Uzbekistan in order to improve the investment climate. Central Asian Research Society will hold a conference in Tashkent in June. The event is expected to welcome more than 300 experts, researchers from leading think tanks, political strategists, and business analysts from Central Asia, the United States, the European Union, Russia, China, Japan, South Korea, India, Pakistan, and other states. A crafts fair featuring unique items made by the Central Asian artisans will be held as part of the conference. Rogun hydropower plants will receive more than half of the budget allocated for the development of Tajikistan's energy sector. This year, more than $400 million will be allocated for the development of the sector. Nearly $217 million will be allocated for the construction of all the facilities of the Rogun hydropower plant. Some of the local government officials and private sector actors in Aktobe have gained an opportunity to take leadership positions in public administration. New candidates have been selected for the Presidential Youth Staff Reserve. Sabit Mukhanov is one of them.
Uzak жолдың енді бірінші қадамдары жасалды.
This is a new stage in my career. Now all the young people selected to the Presidential Youth Staff Reserve are receiving all kinds of job offers from the central and local government institutions, as well as the regional mayor's office and departments. I think that in the near future, I will choose a position based on my experience.
Қарай енді таңдаймын деп ойлаймын жақын арада.
In total, nearly 300 residents of Aktobe region applied for the Presidential Youth Staff Reserve. 12 of them who tested best have made it to the top. They will be offered jobs to suit their qualifications based on a special roadmap.
Аталған кезеңдерден
12 young people have passed through 6 difficult competition stages and entered the top 300 of the Presidential Youth Staff Reserve. The Aktobe region has demonstrated the best results among the western regions of Kazakhstan.
батыс өңірлерінің арасында үздік деп танылады.
300 top specialists were selected out of 13,000 applicants. The candidates will be listed in the staff reserve for the next 5 years. A unique album of Abai Qanambayolu's musical heritage will be released this year. It will comprise not only the original songs and keys by the famous writer, composer, and philosopher, but also the songs of other composers written to the lyrics of the great poet. The heritage of Abai, which to this day has a special place in the Kazakh literature and culture, was discussed by the researchers and scholars in Nur-Sultan. According to the meeting's participants, following Abai, new melodic rhythms and principles of using the artistic and expressive language were introduced to folk songs. In total, more than 40 musical compositions by Abai have been preserved to this day.
Бұның бәрі жақсы ниетпен жиналған нәрсе. Бұның бәрі Абайдың мұрасы шашап шықпай.
All this work has been done with the main goal to preserve Abai's rich heritage. The plan for collecting all his pieces from different parts of the country has been approved. Next, we will need to conduct thorough analysis. I am sure that the people engaged in this work will be able to succeed. I also think that we will need to provide a brief description of these songs for the younger generation. The young people studying Abai's works might find this beneficial.
Студенттерімізге әнді жақсы көретін халыққа кішкентай біраз түсіндірме беріп жатса жақсы болады деп ойлаймыз.
This year marks the 10th anniversary since the Korean Cultural Center was launched in Kazakhstan. The center has been organizing various events for people interested in the Korean culture and history. Among them is the Korean Film Week. This year we're going to continue this tradition to the delight of the Kazakh viewers, says Lee Ryo-han, the director of the Korean Cultural Center in Nur-Sultan. According to her, this year marks the 11th anniversary since the center has started screening the Korean films for the Kazakh audience. Meanwhile, last year marked the 100th anniversary of the film industry in Korea. For the film week, we choose films for screening in accordance with the season of the year. For example, in winter, we show Christmas movies. During summer, we want to screen drama, action, and crime films. This year, we're going to follow this tradition. Why do we want to screen Korean production films? Because even though certain people have never been to Korea, they still can get acquainted with the Korean culture and history through the various genres of films that we screen. Our center is open to all the cinema lovers. A research expedition, Trails of Nomads, has reached Syria. Participants of the large-scale project visited the Cultural and Historical Center of Al-Farabi in Damascus. Its construction was funded by Kazakhstan in memory of the great Eastern philosopher and scientist who was a native of the ancient city of Otrar. The building has been closed for a while. The center will be reopened before the 1150th birth anniversary of Al-Farabi. The memorial complex is due to open this year. In addition, Kazakhstan will mark the 1150th birth anniversary of the great philosopher Abu Nasr al-Farabi. A range of events has been planned as part of the celebrations, including conferences and various meetings. The people of Damascus and the Syrian scientific community honor the heritage of the famous philosopher. It is through him that many of them have learned about Kazakhstan. Experts believe that the common history of the two nations will contribute to the strengthening of ties between the two modern states. When Kazakhstan had started the construction works, the residents of Damascus got very interested in who Al-Farabi was. After learning more about the great philosopher, many people became curious about Kazakhstan, your culture and history. They are interested in the course your country has taken after becoming independent, about the lifestyle and people in Kazakhstan. The expedition members from Kazakhstan presented an honorary badge to the mayor of Damascus for his contribution to the promotion of common historical and cultural values. Syria highly values the scientific works of Al-Farabi. Therefore, his name is popular not only in Damascus but other cities of our country. We also have several schools and streets named after him. This means that our people have cooperated since the ancient times. The friendly relations between Kazakhstan and Syria go deep in history. Damascus is the burial place of another historical figure, Sultan Baybars. More than 50 recipes to making the rarest traditional delicacies were included in the new book, Kazakh Cuisine, Taste and Traditions. The unique publication is the result of the tedious work of several Kazakh researchers. In order to collect the recipes of the most ancient Kazakh dishes, the researchers traveled to all corners of the country as part of the scientific expedition.
Это итоги полевых работ, итоги годового труда по территории Казахстана.
This is the result of field trips, of the work that we've done for a whole year by traveling across Kazakhstan. 1 year ago, we started our expedition. We visited the rural areas, we spoke to the local people, to the elderly. We published 2,000 copies of the book in 3 languages. In this book, we've introduced 50 recipes, some of which have been forgotten, and others are not commonly used nowadays.
Некоторые рецепты из них забыли, практически некоторые блюда не готовятся.
The illustrated book does not only comprise the secrets of preparing traditional Kazakh dishes, but also contains information on the peculiarities of the dining etiquette, diets of our ancestors. The authors also included the accurate ratio of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates contained in each specific meal.
Казахская кухня, она очень здоровая, и самое главное, она очень полезна.
The Kazakh cuisine is very healthy. I believe this book is only a beginning. We have a rich cuisine with its regional characteristics. In the course of our research, we have discovered a lot of interesting peculiarities in traditional cooking in every region. I think that in the future we can publish books on every regional cuisine that can be found in Kazakhstan.
Региональную, будут книги по региональной кухне казахов.
Kazakhs were attentive to the peculiarities of serving the food. During events and celebrations, a corresponding dish was served to the guests. Every dish carried a symbolic cultural meaning. For example, one dish signified a respect for guests, another one a respect for the elderly, or a wish for child rearing. The names of the dishes were not accidental either. They were in line with the meaning put into the dish.
айран.